I don't even know where to start. But if you missed the show today and you're looking for our research, we didn't do any. We decided to take telephone calls all morning, and we answered people that were concerned about what was going on in the world.
Yeah, but Sosnoff, let's take a quick step back for a second here. I don't know if you've watched any videos or seen anything on TV about what's going on in the conflict. I mean, it's not pretty, man. You have videos of people in their houses talking to you as you hear bombs going off in the background. I mean, what's going on in Ukraine is a tragedy. And
I couldn't agree more. War is a tragedy.
I know, but it's just at this day and age and at this time and with as much.
I agree. I mean, listen, 50 years ago, it was a tragedy. War is stupid. It's a tragedy.
We know better. I mean, we as a people, just as a society, as a species, should know better. It's horrific what's going on.
And most wars and conflicts are usually religious. I mean, this is a land grab. This is idiotic in 2022. This is barbaric. This is
barbaric, yeah.
A wannabe dictator that's lost his mind. If anybody ever questions why you need people running countries and democracies that are smart, come on.
Well, with checks and balances, sure.
It's insane what's happening. And it's horrible because, listen, the average Russian citizen knows it. They're all appalled. They're disgusted. It's a brutal situation. It's just, in the papers, they'll say over 50% of the people support this. But that's just complete horseshit. That's complete crap.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're right. It's just totally sad and it's ridiculous. But for people that think that, like, hey, people like him don't care about sanctions, in a certain way, you're right. He doesn't care about sanctions, but everybody else will. And it will move the dial.
Yeah, certainly will move the dial.
It will move the dial. I can tell you right now, it's crazy, but like, we're just an example. I mean, today, I think basically all banking relations done.
Yeah.
Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the biggest GDP in the world, but it's big enough.
Sure.
Can't cut him a check anymore. You got to move somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's just insane. And hopefully
we learn from this. I don't know.
Well, hopefully they learn from this.
Yes. Well, the world, when I say they, I just mean the world. Yeah.
Yeah. And now you can see the dangers of, dealing with people like him in certain ways. It's just brutal. With a bully, you have to stand up to a bully. And oh boy.
War, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. It's a song. They took it from Tolstoy.
No.
But the problem is, like I said yesterday, the geopolitical risks now in the business ecosystem in Russia. I mean, Putin's destroyed it. We had this conversation, but I think it's important to go through it again. What he's doing is so irresponsible relative to the business ecosystem that they may never recover. I mean, it may be a decade before they recover. I'm not sure how firms are going to get over the geopolitical risk now that we used to downplay and say it didn't even exist. Like, we literally would say it doesn't exist. We would argue with boards and say, hey, it's ridiculous. There is none.
Right. That's how stable the region is.
That's right. And now, basically, these firms, they're all going to move. They have to. Basically, they have to just move out of Russia. Every firm that does global business has to move outside of Russia now.
Or they'll get no business.
Right. They're all going to be all throughout Europe. What will end up happening, and it's not just about sanctions. People will say, well, the sanctions don't work. It's not just about sanctions.
Things take time. Like, he's going to be fine. Like, short-term sanctions, whatever. He's just going to brush that off.
I'm not talking about sanctions. I'm talking about just...
You're talking about practice? You talking about practice?
I'm talking about...
We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice, man.
U.S. boards that have to make decisions on where to build their skyscrapers and where to build their global offices and how much dollars to commit. It's a scary situation.
If you had to forecast, how long do you think we're going to have this sustained period of volatility of the unknown? Like, how long does this last?
Well, this morning, Vol's up to about 33, 34 in that range.
Yes.
It is incredibly difficult to sustain a 34 vol for very long. You're talking about 2 times the normal implied volatility. If you believe that the market prices are driven by, retail flow, which I'm one of those people that do. Mm-hmm. Again, we're talking about a generation that's never even seen a sell-off. They could internalize the pandemic and rationalize it because it was an unknown. So they got through that.
And the recovery was lightning fast.
Yes. And for crazy reasons, because we weren't out of the pandemic.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We recovered without being out. We'll recover from this before this is over price-wise. But the question is, you have fund managers that for the last couple of years, the worst email they got or worst phone call they got was, why did we lose 1% last month?
Yeah.
We were supposed to make money every single month. Now you're going to have a drawdown of 50% in some cases in the first 2 months of the year. Now you've got to do some explaining. And
Now you
nobody
got some
cares.
explaining to do, Lucy.
Yeah. And nobody cares what you made 2 years ago.
Anyway, well, I'm going to let you guys go because we got a busy day. We're going to take phone calls. We're going to open the phone lines. We're going to answer all your questions. We're going to solve this global conflict. Pat, what's coming up next?
We're going to take a quick 90-second break. We're going to come back. We got more Tasty Trade with Confirm and Send next. It's Tasty Trade Live.